In this video, I'm going to explain from beginning to the end the entire sequence that we just really honed in and talked about in this video series so that you can get a better understanding of how your external reality is going to shift because you have shifted your beliefs. So the big thing that I want you to understand is that this is a process, okay? It starts with your thoughts. T for your thoughts, okay? Your thoughts, what you're thinking on a day-to-day basis is what you're going to eventually bring into your reality, okay? So we start all the way over here on the left with thoughts, and we're working our way over to the right, which is reality. But there's stuff in between, and it's really important for you to understand and to incorporate in this process, because basically we just went over how you want to identify your beliefs, and then you want to ask if those beliefs are going to support you, and then you want to change them if they're not going to support you for where you want to go. So we're going to just, like I said, continue to understand this entire process, and I'm going to narrow down the two middle parts in a second so that you can understand why changing your beliefs is going to help you manifest those things in your reality. So you start with your thoughts, what it is you're thinking, your programming more or less. Then what you're going to start to see is that your thoughts are going to influence the next part of this process, which is B for behaviors. The way that you think is going to influence how you are going to behave in the world. And what you're going to see is that some of those behaviors are going to be like automatic because you have been more or less thinking those same kinds of thoughts for years and years and years, and you've been reacting or responding in that particular same kind of way, again, for such a long time. So those thoughts that you have influence your behaviors. So let's just use this example that we've been using the entire series, which is I can only talk about one type of content. If I think to myself that I can only talk about one type of content, what's that going to do? In the next step, behaviors, I'm only going to talk about one thing, and I'm going to behave in a way that's going to feel restrictive to me. It's going to feel constricting. It's going to feel like I'm caving in on myself, like I'm not allowing myself to expand. And those thoughts are influencing that behavior. Now, when you're feeling that constriction, that's not going to be something that's going to help you grow. This is a different story for a different day. But we want to feel something that's going to expand us. We want to act and behave in a way that's going to expand us. And that's going to bring us to this third part, which I just said, just kind of subliminally, actions. So your thoughts lead to your behaviors lead to your actions. So when you think you can only talk about one type of content, you're going to behave in a way that you're only going to think about, well, I can only talk about one type of content. I have to do one type of content. And you're going to literally, you're going to talk about it and you're going to do it. You're going to behave in a way that you talk about one type of content all the time, because that behavior is then influencing what you're going to do, that action. So you're behaving in a way that's like, well, I need to get my phone and I need to talk about marketing all the time, because that was literally me for 2 years. I need to talk about marketing all the time. And you don't. Literally, I'm talking about beliefs, and I'm talking about subconscious programming, and I'm talking about how your thoughts influence your reality, because what you think influences how you behave. How you behave influences what actions you're going to take, right? If I think that way, I'm only going to be talking about marketing when I go to take videos. And then when I post those videos, that then influences my reality, okay? Now, that basically goes to show you that your thoughts, the internal world that you are experiencing, then exemplifies, or basically it's all tied together to the external world, to reality. So your thoughts are directly influencing your reality, because the way that you behave and the way that you act in between thoughts and reality is getting you to that reality. So if your programming is well, I can only talk about one type of content, so you behave in a way when you go to put together your content ideas that you could only talk about one specific type of content, then you're going to act in a way that you're only going to talk about one type of content. And then your reality is going to project that you only talk about marketing. You don't talk about your family. You don't talk about personal development. You don't talk about your financial situation. You don't talk about being an entrepreneur. And that's not you. Like, you are a multifaceted human being, and other aspects of you and your personality can come together to support other people through their journey, through your content. So you can talk about other types of content, okay? So this is where that change in your beliefs is going to come in, where you change the thought. If you change the thought, then what that does is it changes the behavior. Now, when I go to make topic ideas for content, I go in and I'm like, okay, I could talk about this, 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 and this, right? I talk about personal development. I talk about my daughter. I talk about money. I talk about content. I talk about different parts of me and my personality and my interests in my content. I'm behaving in that way because I'm putting those spreadsheets and topics together. I act on it by creating these types of videos, and then I put them out onto YouTube. I put them out onto Instagram, and that is now becoming my reality. So that's why this process, thoughts, behaviors, action, and reality is so important, because it really ties together how influential your thoughts are onto your reality. Now, if you have not yet already, be sure to subscribe, because we're going to be going over a lot more in-depth personal development, self-development, and more subconscious programming kind of work. I'm definitely into it after this series. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications if you have not yet already for next week's video. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.